You probably didn't think twice when you saw that number this morning. Maybe it was 6:33 on the microwave, or a receipt that ended in 22 cents. A license plate on the car in front of you. Just another ordinary moment in an ordinary day. But what if it wasn't? What if these small, quiet numbers that show up right when you're barely awake are actually the beginning of something? Across different cultures and belief systems, numbers have always carried meaning, but you don't have to be spiritual or superstitious to notice patterns. Because sometimes, especially when life feels uncertain or you're waiting for a change you can't quite name, the smallest signals can feel louder, like the universe whispering instead of shouting. And if you're someone who's been working hard, doing everything right, but still wondering when it's your turn, then this message might be more timely than you think. In this video, we're going to explore 4 specific numbers that tend to appear in the early hours of the day. They're not random. In fact, for many people, they show up right before a breakthrough. These numbers don't promise a winning lottery ticket or instant success, nothing that dramatic. But they can be signs of alignment, indicators that something in your energy, your mindset, or your direction is finally syncing up. And when that happens, doors start to open in ways you didn't expect. So if you've noticed certain numbers repeating lately, or even if this is your first time thinking about it, you're not here by accident. Because sometimes, all it takes is a little awareness to turn coincidence into confirmation. Let's take a deeper look at what these morning numbers might be telling you, and how to quietly prepare when wealth might be approaching. In its own way, at its own pace. Part 1. Why do numbers appear in the morning? You wake up a little earlier than usual. The sun hasn't fully broken through yet. The house is still quiet. You glance at your phone, 7:33 a.m. Then later, your grocery receipt ends in $33.22. Later still, a car pulls out in front of you with $7,922 on its license plate. You notice it, but not for long. After all, it's just numbers. But what if it isn't? There's something about early mornings, something sacred almost. A moment before the noise begins, before emails, phone calls, appointments, and everything else that pulls your mind in 100 directions. Morning has always held a quiet kind of magic, and in that stillness, things appear we'd usually miss. The numbers you see during that time aren't trying to be loud. They are subtle. They are precise. And more often than not, they show up right when you're quietly shifting inside, whether you realize it or not. Many people write them off as coincidence. Just numbers, they say. But when the same ones show up over and over, especially during the same window of the day, it stops feeling random. Not because they predict the future, but because they reflect something in you, something changing, something aligning. In many traditions, both spiritual and practical, morning is considered a bridge. It's the time when the energy of rest begins to move into action. In Chinese medicine, in meditation practices, even in neuroscience, morning is seen as a reset point. And that reset is when your perception is at its sharpest. It's when your brain is still quiet enough to hear whispers, not noise, whispers. So when you see the same number 2, 3, even 4 mornings in a row, that's not the universe shouting. That's the universe noticing you're finally still enough to hear it. Let's be honest, we've all had mornings where we feel a little off, like something is shifting, but we can't name what. The world around us feels the same, but internally, there's a restlessness, a readiness, a sense that something is about to unfold but hasn't yet. That's usually when the numbers come, not when you're at your peak, but when you're in between. These numbers act like energetic breadcrumbs, tiny markers that tell you you're not lost, you're just between chapters. And maybe you haven't gotten the confirmation you're waiting for, a job offer, a clear yes, a change in direction. But the appearance of these numbers reminds you something is happening, even if it's not loud or obvious yet. Now, does this mean you should obsess over every clock and every receipt? No. The point isn't to chase signs, it's to notice them when they naturally appear, when they stand out to you for no logical reason. That's the real key, not logic, but resonance. Because deep down, when something is meant for you, your body reacts before your brain can explain it. And that's exactly why these numbers tend to show up in the early hours. before your brain has had a chance to build its defenses, before logic, stress, and daily distractions start to drown out your inner compass. It's when your subconscious, your truest inner voice, is at the wheel, if only for a few quiet moments. But here's the most powerful part. These numbers don't just mean something is coming. They often appear when you've already changed, when you've made a subtle inner shift, a choice to let go or try again or stop pretending. The numbers aren't the cause, they are the echo, a mirror, a reflection of something new that's already moving inside of you. And that's why it's important not to dismiss them. Because if you ignore the early signs, you might miss the opportunities that follow. You might keep living as if nothing's changed, even though beneath the surface, everything has. The people who have shared the most powerful turning points in their lives didn't talk about winning the lottery or sudden windfalls. They talked about noticing, about small nudges that led to big shifts, about numbers they kept seeing right before they found clarity in a tough decision, met the right person, or finally stepped into a new chapter they didn't know they were ready for. So when we talk about numbers in the morning, we're not talking about superstition. We're talking about a deeper awareness, a moment of being fully present, of catching the small signs before they turn into big moments, of trusting that the life you've been building quietly, patiently, is starting to align in ways you can't fully see just yet. And isn't that what we all long for in some way? Not just answers, but reminders, gentle ones, quiet ones, that we're not too late, that we're not off track, that the things we've been working toward, hoping for, becoming, are closer than we thought. So the next time you wake up and see a number that gives you pause, that feels strangely familiar or unexpectedly comforting, don't scroll past it. Don't brush it off. Just notice. That's all it takes to turn an ordinary moment into something meaningful. That's all it takes to begin listening to what's been calling you all along. Part 2, the 4 numbers that quietly open the door to abundance. 33, the embrace you didn't know was there. You might not remember the first time you saw it. Maybe it was in the middle of a stressful morning, the time on your dashboard flashing 7:33 as you rushed to work, or a table number at a quiet cafe you picked by chance. Or maybe you saw it everywhere at once, on a receipt, in an address, on your phone, and you paused. Not long, just enough to feel something. You didn't know why, but it felt personal. That's the thing about 33. It doesn't come to impress, it comes to comfort, to wrap itself around your day like a quiet embrace. And it tends to show up when you don't even know you need it, but do. Of all the repeating numbers, 33 carries a softness that most people don't recognize right away. It's not flashy. It doesn't promise sudden change or overnight miracles. Instead, it whispers, it stays close, it holds steady. And if you look closely at when it shows up in your life, you'll often realize it appears during the in-between moments when you're not exactly broken, but not quite whole either. When you're not sure what to hope for, but still hoping anyway. In many spiritual traditions, the number 3 represents a trinity: mind, body, spirit, heaven, earth, human, beginning, middle, end. It's a number of harmony, connection, wholeness. And when it doubles into 33, that energy magnifies, not chaotically, gently, like someone holding your hand under the table while you try not to fall apart in public. 33 tends to arrive during moments of quiet transformation. You may be going through something others don't see. Grief that's too old to talk about, but too heavy to carry alone. A decision you haven't voiced yet, one that might change everything. Or maybe you've just been moving through life on autopilot, smiling when it's expected, nodding when it's easier, all while something inside you waits to be seen. And then 33 appears. It's not a fix, it's not a promise. It's a message: you're not invisible, you're not forgotten, you're not walking through this alone. And while it might not make the path easier, it reminds you that the path is real. That the things you feel, even the ones you haven't named, are valid, worth honoring, worth listening to. For some, 33 has shown up during a health scare, a doctor's visit where everything hangs in limbo. For others, it's come right before a life pivot. A job ending, a relationship shifting, a door quietly closing that they didn't even know was halfway open. And in those moments, this number seems to land like a breath. Not a loud exhale, a silent inhale, a feeling of being held not by someone but by something deeper. You don't need to be religious to feel the spiritual energy of 33. You don't need to believe in signs to recognize a pattern that keeps finding you. All you need is to be open, just a little, enough to pause when it shows up, to ask, what am I needing right now that I haven't let myself receive? Because that's what 33 does. It offers support you didn't know you needed and asks nothing in return. But it's not just a comforting presence. 33 also comes with a quiet challenge to show up for someone else. When you receive this kind of energy, one that says you're not alone, it plants the seed for you to pass it on. That might mean checking in on someone who's gone quiet, doing something kind without posting it, or simply offering a bit of grace to yourself or to someone who doesn't seem to deserve it. Because blessings like 33 don't grow when hoarded. They expand when shared. And when you do, when you act in alignment with that gentle strength, you'll often notice 33 showing up more, not because you summoned it, but because you're living in the same frequency now. You've stopped chasing loud answers and started listening to the quiet ones. You've stopped waiting to be rescued and started realizing maybe you've already been held all along. So if you've seen 33 this week, maybe more than once, don't overthink it. Don't ask for proof. Just breathe, say thank you. Let it be what it is, a signal that you're entering a phase of inner alignment. One where what you feel and what you do finally begin to match. One where you're supported not just by others, but by your own soft willingness to grow. Because the truth is, not every breakthrough begins with a bang. Some begin with a whisper, a number, a moment, a deep breath in the early morning light. And if 33 has found its way into your day, maybe that moment is now. 79 for those who have walked through storms. Some numbers don't show up at the start of your journey. They wait. They appear later after the hard choices, the quiet disappointments, the nights when no one knew you were unraveling. That's what makes 79 different. It's not a beginning, it's a response. A quiet signal that you've already walked through something, and now something new is walking toward you. Unlike softer numbers that comfort or soothe, 79 feels like a mirror. Not the kind that flatters, but the kind that reflects back everything you've been through and says, you didn't break, you grew. That's why it often appears during what feels like an ending, right after a job loss, a move you didn't plan, a relationship that slowly fell apart. Or sometimes it shows up when you're still stuck in a decision you don't know how to make. And yet, there it is, on your phone, on a random receipt, in the corner of your vision, again and again. 79, let's break it down, not in numerology, but in meaning. The 7 speaks to wisdom earned the hard way. It's the energy of solitude, self-reflection, quiet strength. It doesn't scream for attention, it listens, it endures, it knows what it means to keep going when no one claps. And 9, that's fulfillment. Not in the flashy, Instagram perfect way, but in the internal sense of knowing you've done what needed to be done. That you've closed a loop. That something is finished, and you are freer than you've been in a long time, even if you're still catching your breath. Together, 79 doesn't bring comfort, it brings clarity. It arrives like a final nudge toward a door you've been circling for years. Not pushing you through, just saying softly, it's open now. You can walk forward if you're ready, but here's the truth, not everyone is. 79 requires honesty. It asks, are you willing to leave behind what no longer serves you, even if it once felt safe? Are you ready to stop carrying the weight of a version of yourself that no longer fits? That's why 79 is often overlooked. It doesn't offer quick wins. It doesn't tell you everything will be easy. Instead, it offers something far more powerful, a shift in direction. A chance to choose differently, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. It shows up when you're finally ready to act not from desperation, but from inner alignment. That's what makes it sacred. That's what makes it rare. People who have experienced major turning points often say, I didn't know it was a turning point at the time. That's how 79 moves, quietly, steadily, without fanfare. But if you look back, you'll notice that the moments it appeared, something subtle but irreversible was already shifting. You stopped chasing what didn't feel right. You stopped explaining yourself to people who never really listened. You started trusting your own timing. And yes, it might still feel uncertain. You might still be in the fog, but when 79 starts showing up, that fog is beginning to lift. It's not a coincidence. It's not just another number, it's a marker, a guidepost, a sign that the phase of enduring is ending and the phase of receiving is beginning, slowly, quietly, powerfully. But there's one more truth you need to hear. 79 only stays with the humble. It doesn't dance with ego. If you try to force outcomes, rush the process, or use its appearance as an excuse to gamble, show off, or demand results, you'll find its energy disappears, like a breeze you can't catch, like a chance you didn't respect. That's not punishment, that's preservation. 79 protects what's sacred, and if you're not ready to carry it with care, it will wait for someone who is. So if you've seen this number, especially during a time when life feels quiet, uncertain, or painfully unclear, pause, not to figure it all out, but to honor what you've already been through, to recognize that survival wasn't the end goal. Growth was, and now, you're being asked to step into a new kind of strength, not the one that hides pain, but the one that transforms it, that turns storms into soil. Because maybe you didn't walk through all of that just to go back to who you were. Maybe you walked through it to become someone you haven't even met yet. And maybe, just maybe, 79 is the moment you start to. 22, when two energies finally flow as one. Some numbers carry a pulse you can almost feel. They don't rush in or shout for attention, but when they show up, repeating, gentle, steady, they create a sense of calm you didn't know you needed. That's the energy of 22. It doesn't warn or promise. It balances. It brings you back to center when everything feels like it's pulling in different directions. If 33 is the embrace and 79 is the mirror, 22 is the stillness between heartbeats, the quiet moment when two paths, once separate, begin to walk together. You may notice it in a moment of hesitation. You're standing at a crossroad in life, not quite lost, but unsure. Part of you wants change, part of you fears it. There's tension in your choices, in your schedule, in your conversations. And then there it is, 22, on your phone, in an email timestamp, on the dashboard clock as you're stuck at a red light. Simple, silent, repeating, and slowly it starts to feel like more than coincidence. That's because 22 doesn't just appear in your life. It arrives when your inner and outer world are trying to meet. When what you say you want is finally aligning with how you live. It's a symbol of unity, not just between people, but between forces inside you. Desire and discipline, dream and reality, rest and ambition. When those two streams finally stop competing and start flowing in the same direction, you create momentum, real momentum, sustainable, graceful, powerful. In traditional symbolism, the number 2 represents duality, day and night, effort and surrender, you and others. And when doubled into 22, that energy amplifies, not into chaos, but into cohesion. It becomes a reminder that strength doesn't always come from pushing harder. Sometimes it comes from knowing when to soften, when to pause, when to let two truths exist at once and make peace with the fact that life is rarely black and white. 22 has a special way of showing up when you're trying to find your way back to something steady. Not just financial security or career clarity, but emotional grounding. A quiet stability that doesn't depend on external applause, that doesn't need drama to feel alive. This number marks the return to your inner rhythm, one that maybe got lost in the noise of overdoing, overgiving, or simply overthinking. It's also the number of quiet turning points. Many people who have experienced sudden positive shifts in their lives, be it in health, love, or purpose, remember seeing 22 beforehand. Not as a prediction, but as a signal. A whisper that said you're entering a phase where things will begin to make sense. Not all at once, but piece by piece, with grace, not pressure. When you start noticing 22 frequently, especially in the morning, it's often a sign that your energy is becoming more coherent. Your choices are lining up with your values. You're not reacting out of fear as much, you're responding with awareness. You're not chasing outcomes blindly, you're moving with intention. And as your internal energy stabilizes, your external life begins to respond. The conversations get easier. The right people stick around. The timing starts to feel right, even when you don't fully understand why. But here's what makes 22 truly special. It encourages you to trust stillness. It says you don't have to rush this. The river doesn't force its way downstream. It flows, and you can too. It reminds you that harmony doesn't require control, it asks for alignment. And alignment isn't passive, it's an active kind of peace. One that comes from making consistent, grounded choices that reflect who you truly are, not just who you're trying to prove yourself to be. If you've been doing inner work, letting go of what no longer serves, practicing kindness toward yourself, listening instead of reacting, 22 is often the number that affirms you're on the right path. You may not see the outcome yet, but the foundation is being set. The seeds you planted are taking root quietly, patiently. You are building something solid, and that matters more than rushing toward a finish line that never really existed. So when 22 shows up again, don't ask, "What should I do?" Ask instead, where in my life am I finally allowing flow? Where am I moving with ease rather than effort? Where am I giving myself permission to be fully present instead of perfectly polished? Because maybe the question isn't how to chase abundance. Maybe the real question is how to receive it, not with urgency, but with trust, not with force, but with readiness. 22 tells you that you're ready, not for everything, but for the next right thing. And that's more than enough. Because when two energies finally flow as one, life stops feeling like a tug of war and starts becoming something you can actually live in, breathe in, belong to. And maybe, just maybe, that's the wealth you've been waiting for all along. 68 when you're no longer hoping you're ready. Some numbers don't arrive at the beginning of a dream, they arrive when you're finally ready to live it. That's the energy of 68. It doesn't come to those who are still weighing every option, still asking for signs, still hoping someone else will make the first move. It shows up quietly, steadily, when you've already done the hardest part, deciding. Not hoping, not waiting, deciding. You may not know exactly how the path will unfold, but you've chosen to walk it. You've stopped asking if you're ready, you've become the answer. That's what makes 68 such a powerful number. On the surface, it's simple, 2 digits, nothing dramatic. But the energy it carries is anything but ordinary. The 6 speaks of ease, flow, and receptive energy. Not passive, but open. It says, what is meant for you will not need chasing, it will meet you halfway. The 8, in contrast, carries momentum, expansion, the quiet hunger to grow. It says, you've done the work, now let yourself rise. When these two combine, you get a number that holds a very specific frequency, abundance with stability, growth without chaos, success that doesn't break you but sustains you. So when 68 starts to appear, especially in the morning, especially during a period where you feel unusually clear, it's rarely a coincidence. It's often the beginning of a new rhythm, a shift from scattered striving to centered movement. You're not trying to manifest anymore. You're living in alignment. You're no longer throwing wishes into the air. You're building, quietly, daily, from the inside out. And yet this number doesn't flatter. It doesn't reward performance. It meets you where you are, especially if that place is grounded, intentional, and quietly determined. That's why it rarely appears during emotional highs or dramatic lows. It arrives in the steady middle. In the mornings where you wake up without anxiety. In the moments you say no without guilt. In the decisions that come not from pressure but from clarity. What's even more meaningful is this: 68 doesn't care about appearances. You don't need the perfect plan, the biggest following, or the boldest goal. What it looks for is alignment. Are your actions matching your values? Are your habits quietly reinforcing the life you say you want? Are you creating structure, not to control, but to support what matters most? Because if you are, 68 becomes something more than a number. It becomes a current, a pull toward people, places, and opportunities that are actually meant for you. Not just exciting, not just shiny, but right. The kind of right that doesn't just change your mood, it changes your direction. That's why 68 doesn't offer instant rewards. It's not lottery luck. It's not viral success. It's long-haul energy. If 68 had a voice, it would say, I'm not here to rescue you. I'm here to walk beside you as long as you keep showing up. It's the number for people who have already stopped needing applause to stay motivated. People who have faced disappointment but kept their integrity intact. People who have let go of shortcuts in favor of something more meaningful and more lasting. But here's the part most people overlook. 68 is also a test. Because once you've aligned your life, the next challenge is to stay there. To stay centered when things begin to move faster. To stay kind when results take longer. To stay humble when success starts to show. That's what makes this energy so sacred. It doesn't just offer progress, it asks for presence. And that's where many people slip. They see 68 and rush. They feel the shift and push harder. They mistake readiness for urgency. But the truth is, when you're truly ready, you don't force anything. You allow, you trust. You take action, yes, but from peace, not panic. From confidence, not desperation. So if you've seen 68 lately, especially if it felt like a nod from the universe, pause, breathe. Don't ask what you need to chase next. Ask what you're already doing right. Let that affirmation sink in. Let it become the fuel, not the question. Because when 68 appears, it means your life is no longer built on potential. It's built on presence. On the habits you've refined, the boundaries you've honored, the self-trust you've rebuilt one quiet day at a time. And maybe most of all, it's built on the truth that you no longer need to hope things will turn out. You're ready to meet them, not someday, now. Part 3, 3 things to do when luck knocks. So let's say you've started to notice the numbers. Maybe 33, maybe 79, maybe all four. They show up quietly like soft taps on your shoulder, not demanding attention, but asking for it. You feel a shift. You're more aware, more present. You sense that something is trying to find you, not loudly, but deliberately. That's the moment most people miss. Because the appearance of these numbers isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning. And if you want that luck to stay, to grow, to take root, what you do next matters. That's why this next part is important. When luck knocks, it's not asking for celebration, it's asking for space. Space to land, space to breathe, space to move through your life and do what it's meant to do. These 3 actions are not about superstition or ritual. They're about resonance, aligning your energy with the very thing that's trying to meet you halfway. 1. Clean the space you live in and do it with intention. It sounds simple. Too simple, maybe. But the energy of your home speaks louder than most people realize. When your living space is crowded, cluttered, full of things that no longer reflect who you are, it creates resistance. Not just for you, but for the good energy trying to enter. So when you see a number that moves you, the first thing to do is look around. Not to judge, not to panic, but to clear. Start with one spot, a table with too much mail, a chair covered in clothes, a drawer you haven't opened in months. You don't have to clean everything, just enough to make room. When you do this with presence, not as a chore, but as a quiet gesture of welcome, something shifts. You're not just wiping a surface, you're telling life, I'm ready for what's next. 2. Let light in, real light or symbolic. After clearing comes opening. This is about light, not just for brightness, but for flow. Morning light especially carries a subtle energy that sets the tone for the day. Open your curtains, let the sun touch the floor. If your space doesn't get much natural light, turn on a warm lamp and let that be enough. What matters isn't the source, it's the spirit behind it. Light doesn't just chase away darkness, it clears stagnation. It brings clarity to corners we've ignored. When you stand in that light, even for a moment, take a breath and silently say, I welcome clarity. I welcome ease. That small pause turns the act into a ritual. It transforms your morning from routine to resonance. 3. Add scent and your presence. Now that the space is open and the light is flowing, activate one more sense. Scent. Light a candle, burn a stick of incense. Use a diffuser with a favorite oil. The point isn't perfection, it's memory. Scent is one of the fastest ways to anchor energy. It lingers, it carries. Choose something that grounds you: cinnamon for warmth, sandalwood for clarity, orange for brightness. As the scent fills your space, don't rush off. Stay a moment. Let it rise. Let it settle into the room, into your clothes, into your breath. What you're doing is subtle but powerful. You're saying without words, this space matters. This moment matters. I matter. That's the kind of energy luck stays for, not the desperate chase, but the steady presence. And here's the thing most people forget. These actions aren't for the universe. They are for you. They are reminders, physical, visible, felt, that your life is already holding something sacred. They create space not just for wealth or success, but for peace, trust, and alignment. The kind of life that doesn't just look lucky from the outside, but feels right from the inside. So the next time you see one of those numbers, 33 on a receipt, 22 on a clock, 68 on a random address, don't rush to decode it. Don't ask what it means in theory. Ask what it's calling you to do in practice. Clear the clutter. Let the light in. Breathe in the scent of your own presence. Because maybe the real invitation isn't to chase luck, it's to become someone it wants to stay with. Part 4: Behaviors that push luck away. Most people want to know what to do when luck arrives. Fewer ask what not to do, but that's just as important, because good energy, like anything sacred, can be invited or it can be pushed away. And often, it's not the big mistakes that send it off. It's the small, quiet habits we don't realize are closing the door after it's already been opened. Let's start with the one that's hardest to catch: talking too soon. You see a lucky number, you feel a shift. You sense that something is changing, and what do we do next? We tell someone, we post about it, we announce it. Not from arrogance, but from excitement. But the truth is, energy doesn't grow in noise, it grows in stillness. Sharing too soon can scatter what's trying to settle. It's like opening a seed before it's had time to root. The energy becomes exposed, and before you know it, it's gone. Not because you did anything wrong, but because you didn't let it fully land before letting it go. The second behavior is just as subtle but more dangerous: greed disguised as readiness. When we feel momentum, it's easy to start grabbing. More money, more recognition, faster results. And while there's nothing wrong with desire, desire without balance can distort energy. Suddenly, what began as alignment becomes urgency. What was flowing turns into force. And what could have unfolded naturally collapses under the pressure of chasing too much too soon. That's when the energy reverses, not to punish you, but to protect what wasn't ready. Next is using luck as permission to gamble financially, emotionally, or spiritually. You see a number, you feel lucky, and so you take a risk. You call it faith, but deep down it's avoidance, a lottery ticket, a spontaneous purchase, a quick decision you hope will bypass the slow road. But here's the truth. Aligned luck never asks you to act out of impulse. It asks for presence, not performance. If something truly belongs in your path, it won't require you to risk your peace to get it. And then there's the behavior most people deny, mocking what you don't yet understand. You see the number. It stirs something in you. But instead of honoring it, you joke, you brush it off. Just a coincidence, you say. I'm not that kind of person. But beneath the words is a quiet fear. What if it is real? What if it does mean something and you're not ready for it? Doubt isn't always logical. Sometimes it's self-protection. But if you laugh at the whisper before it's had a chance to speak, don't be surprised when it stops visiting. Because here's the truth most people miss. Energy isn't here to convince you. It's not here to argue or chase or prove. It simply offers. And when you meet it with respect, even if you don't fully understand it yet, it stays. But when you meet it with dismissal or force or noise, it leaves, quietly, completely. So what does that mean in practice? It means hold your blessings quietly. Don't share everything you sense. Let the shift grow roots before you speak it into the world. It means stay generous but grounded. Let your dreams expand, but not at the cost of peace, patience, or presence. It means don't use luck to bypass the journey. Let it walk beside you, not ahead of you. And it means if something moves you, honor it. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to prove it. You only need to listen. Because the most sacred moments in life don't ask for attention. They ask for stewardship, for stillness, for trust. And when you learn how to protect what's subtle, what's whispering, what's just beginning, you become the kind of person good energy stays with. So if you've seen the signs, if you've done the clearing, if you've welcomed the light, don't rush to show it. Don't try to force it. Don't question it so hard you stop feeling it. Just hold it, quietly, gently, like a flame you carry in both hands, not to show off, but to guide your way. Because in the end, the people who receive the most aren't always the loudest. They are the ones who knew when to speak and when to listen, when to act and when to trust, when to reach and when to let the energy reach them. And maybe, just maybe, that's all luck ever really asked for. Part 5, how to stay in tune with your lucky number. Once you've recognized a lucky number in your life, one that keeps showing up gently but persistently, it's easy to ask, now what? Do you chase it? Wait for a sign? Hope something dramatic happens next? Actually, no. The relationship between you and a number that resonates is not loud. It's not about chasing, forcing, or waiting to be chosen. It's about building a quiet rhythm, staying attuned to something subtle but real. And in a world that celebrates fast answers and loud progress, choosing to live in tune with something soft, something only you can feel, can be more powerful than it seems. So how do you stay in tune with your lucky number? It starts with a shift in mindset. This isn't about superstition. It's about resonance. That number is a vibration, a code, a mirror of who you're becoming. And staying close to it is not about magic, it's about alignment. Daily, grounded, intentional alignment. One of the most gentle yet powerful ways to anchor a lucky number is through subtle repetition. Add it to your phone's passcode, a file name, your Wi-Fi network, a password you use often, not because it's lucky, but because it keeps you in conversation with it. Every time you see that number, even subconsciously, you're reminding yourself, I'm in tune, I'm aligned, I'm ready. It's not about the number doing something to you. It's about you living with it, carrying it, letting it become part of your inner landscape. And don't just type it, write it. By hand, slowly, thoughtfully, on a small piece of paper. Fold it and place it somewhere quiet, your wallet, a journal, a drawer. Somewhere only you know. That's not superstition, it's energetic intimacy. Every time you remember it's there, you're reinforcing that thread between you and what you're calling in. Now take it one step further. Place it somewhere near your work, not your dreams, your doing. Your desk, your calendar, the space where your energy moves from intention to action. Carve it into wood, place it behind a photo, tape it under your keyboard. Let it live where your momentum lives. Because prosperity flows to people who are already in motion, and your number is not here to wait. It's here to walk with you. But please don't show it off. Don't try to make it make sense to someone else. This is not a shared code. It's personal, sacred. It loses power when it's put on display too soon. Protect it not because it's fragile, but because it's yours. When something has meaning for you, you don't owe anyone an explanation. Especially not when that meaning is still unfolding. And above all, respond. Don't just observe. Seeing your number is the beginning. What matters is what you do after. Do you pause and breathe? Do you act with more clarity? Do you move forward without needing outside confirmation? That's how energy grows. That's how alignment solidifies. Not through force, but through consistency. Not through waiting, but through presence. Because the universe doesn't reward perfection, it rewards resonance. Every time you take action from a place of inner calm, every time you say yes to something that matches your values, every time you choose stillness over noise or trust over fear, you strengthen that channel. And the more you live in that vibration, the more natural it feels. Not magical, not out of reach. Just deeply familiar. And one morning, without even thinking about it, you'll see your number again. It will show up on a receipt, on a phone screen, in a way so quiet you almost miss it. But this time, you won't need to ask what it means. You'll already know. It means you're still in tune, you're still becoming, you're exactly where you need to be. Final, maybe, after everything we've explored, the numbers weren't just numbers. Maybe they were invitations, gentle ones, not to predict your future, but to help you return to yourself. Because in the end, this wasn't about signs or symbols. It was about resonance. It was about what you're ready to hear when the world finally quiets down and you can listen again. Maybe 33 reminded you that comfort is not weakness, that receiving love is not a delay in your growth, but part of it. Maybe 79 brought a mirror to everything you've endured and whispered you made it through more than you think. Maybe 22 helped you notice the balance you've been quietly building between giving and keeping, between effort and ease. And maybe 68. Maybe it wasn't a prediction. Maybe it was a quiet confirmation that, yes, you're ready, not for perfection, not for performance, but for presence. for a version of life that fits your rhythm, your breath, your truth, and if there's one thread that ties it all together, it's this. Luck doesn't just happen to the prepared. It stays with the present, the grounded, the willing, the ones who clear a little space, let in a little light. Stay soft while the world grows louder. And if you've made it to this part of the video, if you've stayed with me through every number, every story, every quiet shift, thank you, truly. Because that tells me something about you. You're not chasing answers anymore. You're building alignment. You're no longer waiting for change. You're making space for it. So wherever you are, whatever your number is, may it continue to show up when you need it most. Not just as a sign, but as a companion, quiet, steady, present, just like you. I see you, and I'm so glad you're here.